Hello. It's Sunday, April 29th. I tried to vlog yesterday, but I couldn't. I just couldn't put it up. It was, as you can see, I am doing really bad. And I just thought maybe I should pop in and give an update. I've gone downhill all week. Friday was the catalyst when it really got really, really bad, and yesterday was no better. And as you can see, today is maybe even worse. I don't even know now. I don't even know how to gauge this, but the dizziness is really severe. My head is as bad as it can possibly, is as bad as it's ever been. Let me put it that way. It's the worst it's ever been. It's this feeling of constant motion in my head. And then these sudden jolts of feeling completely like I'm gonna fall. Like somebody just pulled the rug right out from underneath my feet. That's how it feels. I just had it happen again. It's exhausting me because every move I make, I have to think about it and decide if it's worth even doing it. I pushed through yesterday and did things that I absolutely had no business doing, but I kept thinking maybe it would make it better. Foolishness. So I vacuumed, I swept, I did laundry, I made a casserole. How, you ask? Holding on to things and crying. I cried a lot yesterday. I already cried a lot today, but I have to pull it together because when my husband gets home from grocery shopping, I can't allow him to see me crying anymore. I just can't. He's heard and listened to it enough for the last 3 days, and so I'm just trying to hold it together. I don't know what I've done different other than I raised the LDN to 2 milligrams, and I see the doctor tomorrow so clearly. I will go back to 1.5. If I can, or if she tells me to just hold it out for another week, because I have another week at 2 milligrams, and see if that makes any difference. I felt like this before the LDN. All I can say is that it's bad. It snowed today. That's how cold it is. It's in the 30s, and it was snowing earlier. So the barometric pressure is like crazy all over the place, because by Tuesday we'll be near 80. So snow on Sunday and 80 on Tuesday, Wednesday. But it's going to just start. So, and I know the barometric pressure affects me, but to this degree, I don't know. I don't know. Do any of us know anything? Finding it hard to even watch anything on my laptop. Trying to crochet. I'm okay if I'm looking down, but as soon as I start to look up, the room is spinning on me. I can't, it's like my head can't move. It's almost, it's very close to benign positional vertigo. It's really close to that. I have not had the actual spin yet. And believe me, I've had 3 episodes in my life of benign positional vertigo. And it is literally, you see things spinning. And you get nystagmus in your eyes. I have not had that. But it feels like I'm so close to going into that. So then it makes me think, inner ear, have I move some crystals around in my inner ear, and I need to do the Epley maneuver. Probably not. Like so many of you, we're always trying to connect the dots and figure out what is causing what. But plain and simple, I believe that my brain is damaged. And I wish I could believe that it's not damaged beyond repair, but when this all started, that made me dizzy. Just coughing just made my head go. I had hope and belief that things were going to turn around years ago, especially since I thought it was all benzodiazepine related, until I started getting infections and lost all that weight, and, the swollen glands and the lymph nodes and the swollen knee, and I started getting things that did not coincide with benzo withdrawal. So I would say, conservatively, the last 2 years, I've lost hope. You've heard me say it before, that I don't want to be here. I'm not grateful for another day. God forgive me, but He knows my heart. I'm not telling Him anything He doesn't know. He knows I'm not grateful to wake up. I'm not. I'd much rather be in heaven than to do this crap. Well, I'm going to sign off because I heard my husband pulling into the garage, and I refuse to allow him to see this today. I am going to hide it as best I can. He wants me to go out to the store looking for gazebos. Fat chance of me even getting my shoes on today, but you know me. Checking with you later. I just came to bed. I can't even stay on my couch. Sid came home and he tried to talk about going and looking at some gazebos. He had stopped at a place and saw a couple that he liked. And I said, I can't even talk. I can't even talk to you. I can't even think about... What do you think makes your brain do this? What do you think? That it doesn't show up on scans. That's what's going on in the brain that'll make you feel like this. And it doesn't show up on anything. What? Why wouldn't it? Why won't it show up on something? I just wrote in my journal that there are people who are dying. I'm freezing, by the way. I think I mentioned earlier it snowed earlier. It's freezing out. I got my heating pad on. I got the space heater on because I don't want to turn the heat on for the walls. I'm so cold, but I was just writing my journal that there are people that are begging to live, and they die. And then there's people like me who are begging to die, and I don't consider this living. We just are breathing every day. I literally tell people that now. When I do go out, the old, how you doing? I should say, you really want to know? Take a seat. I'll tell you how I'm doing, because you don't really want to know. It's just a saying. But my response now is, I'm breathing. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm okay. I'm doing good. Everything's up. Nope. I'm breathing. That's about all I can tell you. So clearly this is a very bad day. A very bad day. I haven't been able to get out and do anything on my own in days. And if you watch my vlog, that's not like me. I can at least get out to a store. I mean, Friday I was out, but that's because my husband was driving, and it was so horrible the entire time. So I told you I went on the treadmill. I figured that was my detox, because I sweat like a pig. Forgive the terminology, but I took an Epsom salt bath last night, and for me, I slept okay, because it wasn't one of those nights that I was up the entire night. I was just up and down like my per usual. But I woke with my head really bad, and that's been the last 2 days. My head started right out like this. It didn't have to work into it like some days. So I don't know. I don't know what infection is in my brain. Sorry. I feel like I'm going to pass out. And I don't. I feel so out of it. I also wrote in my journal that I wish I could say my goodbyes to my children in preparation of me dying. But I've been dying for years now, and it doesn't happen. So I wait. I'm going to try to get my thoughts together and come back on. Oh, hell. I'll do it now. Because it's something I just want to address, because I'm feeling so sick, and I tried to do it yesterday. I will put a warning up before I post this that this could be, people may not want to watch this video, because I'm going to discuss suicide. There, it's out there, suicide. Because what I have found is a lot of people who have committed suicide were being killed slowly by Lyme disease, and they didn't know it. I have a friend who I met on a benzo withdrawal site 2 years ago. Three years ago. She killed herself 2 years ago. And we never met in person, but we talked on the phone daily, several times a day. And that's all she talked about, was killing herself. And at that point, I wasn't where she's at. I wasn't where she was at that point in my thinking or feeling sick. I am now. Without a doubt, I know what she was going through now. I'm speaking from my perspective as a born-again Christian, and she was also. My age, married, 3 talented, gorgeous daughters. She was very talented. She had accomplished so much in her life, had everything to live for, but her brain was literally being eaten up. And people kept telling her it was benzo. And so she was trying to withdraw from it. She actually went into a detox twice. The night she came home from the first detox, she tried to overdose. They put her back in the hospital and drugged her up and sent her back home 7 days later. And within the month, she was dead. I found out almost a year later, talking to her husband. He had seen by this point something on my Facebook about me possibly having Lyme disease, and he reached out to me and told me that she had Lyme disease, and she tested CDC positive every time they tested her. But the doctors had treated her with antibiotics and didn't want to do anything else. She killed herself because of Lyme disease, not because of a benzo. I was not prepared for it when I got the call from her husband that she had killed herself. I was screaming. I was screaming and crying after I got off the phone with him. And I went to church that night for a prayer meeting, crying and why? Why didn't God stop her? Why did he let her go through with it? Because we had talked and talked and talked about why we don't do this. I told her, she asked me my opinion, because she was fixated on stopping the madness in her mind. And I said, the Bible is not black and white in regards to this particular subject. What I do know, or check that, what I believe is that if you are of sound mind, you know right from wrong, you're oriented to time, place, and person, I don't believe you would go to heaven. I believe that that's your ticket to hell. And the word eternity means just that. It doesn't end. It's not a little stay. It's forever and ever and ever. But, again, what I believe is if you are completely out of your mind and you have lost touch with reality. I have a good friend. I probably have talked about this on an earlier post, and if I have, forgive me for repeating all this again, but it's so right when you're so sick and you just want to go and you can't do anything about it. Anyway, a friend of mine's son, schizophrenic, he took his life. He was completely out of his mind when he did it. He was talking to the wall. I believe he's in heaven. I believe God had mercy on him. I want to believe my friend's in heaven. But what was she thinking those minutes before she did it? What was she thinking? Her family left to go to church, and she carried out very strategically the steps that she needed to do to commit this heinous crime to herself. What was she thinking? I don't know. I always go back to that. Her mind, she would tell me, my mind is so addled. She always used the word addled, and I was like, and again, I wasn't quite as bad as I am now. I wasn't quite there as I am now. So I wasn't connecting with what she was saying, and I was like, she said, you don't understand, Lainey. My brain feels like something is eating at it. I can't describe my head. I understand now. This is what my friend was feeling. But unlike her, God has put a hedge of protection around my mind enough for me not to do anything. Because I won't ever take the chance of not having heaven. Too risky. So I wait on God. I pray that He either takes me home or He fixes this and makes it stop. One or the other. And every year that's gone by, nope. 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 I'm sorry if this vlog is scaring any of you or bothering you. You can turn it off. I just feel the need to speak out because there's so many of us that are just feeling like we can't take another breath. We can't take another step. We can't even get out of bed. But because of our faith in God, we don't do anything. And I want to encourage anyone out there who is contemplating, please, please, listen to these words. Read your Bible. Heaven is real. God is real. And you can't turn around once you've done this. You can't change your mind. You can't say, oops, that was a mistake. We just have to wait on God. We have to just wait on Him. It makes me angry. It frustrates me. But there's nothing I can do except sit here and live in this hell. But please, talk to somebody, reach out to somebody, pray, ask God's deliverance. Pray that you can have the covering of the Holy Spirit. Pray for the blood of Jesus to come down upon you. Pray that He'll put a hedge of protection around your mind, because Satan is coming around you with all his henchmen surrounding you. And that's what happened to my friend that day. I tell you that evil was all around her. And so I hope, I can't pray anymore for her. It's a done deal. Can't pray for somebody's soul once they're gone. So I just hope that she's with our Jesus and that He had mercy on her. My son and I'm talking about this because my son and I had this conversation just yesterday, and that's why it's so fresh in my mind, besides that I'm so sick. He said, you know, if you didn't have such a strong faith, he called it me being so religious, our whole family would be freaking out right now. We wouldn't leave you alone for a second because we know you're suicidal. But we also know because of your faith, you're not going to do anything. And I said, you're right. I am suicidal, and yet I won't do anything. Won't do a thing. So let you all know that. I've said it before. Maybe that's not being suicidal if you're not really going to follow through with it. I just pray for death, but I won't bring on death. Catch 22. You open your eyes in the morning and you think, I have nothing to look forward to. I have to do this again. Why, God? What am I learning from this? How am I helping others? I'm not even healthy enough to help others. Because if I was healthy enough to help anyone, I would help my family first. I would be there for my daughter and my children, but my grandkids. I would be there for my husband. I would be there. And I'm not even doing that. So what good is all this? I'm not being an example to anyone. No one's looking at me and going, wow, she's strong. She's a warrior. Well, they're not. They're saying, oh gosh, don't talk to Lainey. It's all doom and gloom. She's a Debbie Downer. Because I'm not going to... All right, well, I've babbled for 20 some odd minutes already, so I'm going to stop now. And I don't know if I'll come back on later. It's just a subject that was very hot in my mind because of the conversation. And that conversation was very long with my son. That was just a little bit of our conversation. And then all the thoughts of my girlfriend came flooding back in after him and I talking. It felt like it just happened yesterday. All the talks she and I had. And she was just riddled with Lyme disease, and Lord only knows what other co-infection she had. "57 years old." Okay, I'm going to end this vlog. I'm sorry it was so dark and deep, but it was what was on my mind. And I felt that I needed to share that. So I just got done listening to Dr. Thomas Cohen on LDN. He prescribes it. Sorry about that. I thought somebody was walking in. And I think that when I see the doctor tomorrow, that's what we'll be doing, is slowing down. I don't know. He says 6 months. He's prescribed it thousands and thousands of patients since the late 90s, early 2000s, and he found that 6 months, you got to give it 6 months, and playing with the dose. And so, is it a cure? No. It raises your endorphins. It blocks your it blocks the now I'm having a brain fart. Anyways, it blocks certain receptors in order to make your body produce more of the endorphins, which produces better immune system, blah, blah, blah. So no, it's not a cure, but it could help. And it did bring down my lymph nodes. That is the one thing that went away right away. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. Lord willing, I'll be back at it again. I'll try to come on in later tomorrow and let you know how the appointment went. God bless. Be well. Take care. I'm praying for all of you. You know, some of us are really in the crap bucket right now. And we have nowhere to go but up, because we're already at the very bottom of the bucket, right?